If anything, if it makes some people who are talking about us, we're going to win the league, we've got the best squad in the league, it's ridiculous stuff, because when you talk about best squads, you have to look at the teams that have won it in the last 2, 3, 4 years. Their squads are full of strikers and wingers that score 30, 40 goals a season, midfield players that have won multiple league titles all over the place, experienced people that have won it, people that won Champions Leagues, and we have some, but we also have young players, and as a squad we're not there.
Chelsea have actually now officially announced it. Okay, we'll get back to that in a minute. I'm just going to find it all. We know that Roman Abramovich has said it's a really difficult decision to make.
Hold on. My question was: is there a Chelsea fan out there that still thinks it was the wrong decision to sack Frank Lampard? And you're saying you think it was the wrong decision to sack him?
Well, are you going on in terms of results, or what you'd rather see? As
anything. Do you, Harry, Chelsea fan? Yeah. Would you rather have Lampard there now?
I'd rather have Lampard there now. Yeah.
Things were going bad, and look, it was a tough call, but you have to say right now.
Come on, that wasn't going bad. We had a run of games against top teams in the Premier League. Top
Fulham.
Teams.
Did you say it's against
Fulham?
Fulham?
I was very surprised, Brian. I watched the game yesterday on TV, the Luton game, and Chelsea did okay. They won the game, and I've looked at the fixtures. I thought they've got a good week coming up. They've got Wolves and Burnley, definitely winnable games for them. And suddenly it could all turn around again. You look back a few weeks, Brian, maybe eight weeks, 8 games ago, whatever. Everyone's saying Solskjaer's got to get the sack at Man United. It didn't happen. Look at them now. Suddenly they're sitting top of the league. This league this year is so volatile. You can win a few games, you lose. That's how the season's been for everybody, really. It's been so like a roller coaster. And Frank's just had a little downward spiral, and I think, I'm sure they would come out of it, but obviously he's not been given the time.
In 2012, we got elements of luck. We wasn't the best team. I can admit that, but we deserved it this time, and it feels so good. Number 2.
Then as a squad, we're not there.
Frank Lampard was sacked as a Chelsea manager on the 25th of January 2021, with Thomas Tuchel at the time expected to replace him. Lampard was sacked because the club couldn't see him reversing the slide in form. After qualifying for the Champions League the previous season and spending over £200 million on players in the summer, the aim of this campaign was to close the gap on the leaders and win silverware. This was coupled with multiple reports from players such as Tomori and Marcos Alonso that the man management skills of Frank Lampard were below par. It is believed by many that the majority didn't have too much of an issue with the playing style or tactics, or indeed the training methods of Frank Lampard, but how he treated the players on a day-to-day basis. Marcos Alonso has spoken quite openly about the banishment he suffered from the squad under Frank Lampard, and Tomori never being given an explanation around why he was removed from the first team. So Thomas Tuchel was faced with a big task. Get Chelsea playing quality football again. Get Chelsea moving forward again. But to repair the damaged dressing room that Frank Lampard left behind. And this is how Thomas Tuchel turned Chelsea from a failing team with a fractured dressing room into European champions in just 4 months. I want to focus here on some play from the Champions League final, and this epitomises the work rate of Chelsea. For all the passing and for all the movement and for some of the attacking elements we're going to talk about later, The work rate of this Chelsea team is absolutely imperative. Knowing their positions, where they should be, and covering for their teammates. As we play this footage forward, I want to focus on this moment just here. As Jorginho steps forward from his double pivot twin 6 position to press the ball and put pressure upon Manchester City, Rudiger, who's highlighted in yellow, will push forward into that midfield position to cover and ensure there are no holes. What allowed Rudiger to push up into the midfield position and fill the hole left by Jorginho is the fact they play with 3 centre-backs and 2 full-backs. When they're in defensive mode, it becomes a flat back 5, giving time and space and the opportunity for the holes in midfield to be covered. You see the play move forward, Rudiger jumps into that position. No holes, so Man City try and rework the ball. And there we see it again. This time, as Man City try to move the ball to this left-hand side, Kante pushes forward in the press. Jorginho drops off, and then you can see Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz is looking over his shoulder and is about to make a move to cover the space left by Kante. And this is atypical with Chelsea's system under Thomas Tuchel. Great shape, but tremendous work rate. And everybody knowing their jobs and covering for a teammate when they leave a hole on the field of play. So the play comes forward. And if you watch this in real time, you can go and check out the highlights on the BT Sport app. You can just see every time the ball is moved side to side, a different Chelsea player presses and a teammate covers their position from behind. And if it means relinquishing an attacking player, they do this. This is why Chelsea have broke the record and only conceded 4 goals in the Champions League all season. And that is due to this shape. Chelsea, when out of possession, will make everything very compact. They have the width to not get caught on the counter, but they also have the work rate to ensure that there is no space in between the lines. And the ball is hard to work into those spaces. From this position, Man City, regarded as one of the best ball-moving teams in the world, are struggling to penetrate the Chelsea team. And we saw this throughout the course of the whole Champions League final, and indeed in the previous 2 meetings in the last 7 weeks. You can see this flat back 5 and the double pivot, the twin 6, just in front of this Chelsea back line, making it very, very difficult. City have not a single player in the attacking third of the field open, free, or any space to operate in. Ball comes into Gundogan, he had a bit more space, but he's then pressed. City are now trying to work the ball down this left-hand side. The Chelsea team shift across, but the shape stays identical. They move the ball into the middle, and the one player that does have a little bit of time is Gundogan. But he's chased, pressed, and hurried instantly by Jorginho, cutting off the options. And you can see with this still here, as Ben Chilwell has left his defensive position to press into a more midfield area, Jorginho is looking at the play, but then ensuring that he is covering an element of the space left in behind. Rudiger will cover the wide position, Jorginho will cover that central position to ensure balls can't be played between the lines to set the attack on its way. It's a brilliant system, but it's a system that works because everybody works hard. And we mentioned at the top of this video, man management. There's only one way that you can get a team to stay in this shape for over the course of the 90 minutes, week in, week out, and that's your players respecting and trusting you. Thomas Tuchel has instilled an element of trust and empowerment and a togetherness within the Chelsea dressing room that enables his system and style to flourish. And from an attacking point of view, the rejuvenation of Chelsea is about movement, and this is something that Thomas Tuchel has been famed for. We'll take a look here at the famous Kai Havertz goal in the Champions League final, and we'll freeze frame it just here. Timo Werner has had a very difficult season in front of goal, but the one reason that Thomas Tuchel continues to plague him is the movements. As Mason Mount is picking this ball up, Timo Werner, the one thing he cannot be criticised about is his work rate and his tenacity as a player. He draws off on this run into the left-hand channel, and it takes Ruben Diaz with him. What this then enables is a splitting between Ruben Diaz and, of course, the fullback Zinchenko. And you can see here, just as this ball is played, because of the run from Timo Werner and his pace, Ruben Diaz not only has gone with him, but he's dropped deeper. This plays Kai Havertz onside. If the pass from Mason Mount, which it is perfectly weighted, it puts him through. Kai Havertz then goes on to score. But this is stereotypical when it comes to the Chelsea system. Movement through the middle, their attackers making wide runs out to split defenders and create the openings. Wide play is very, very key for the way Chelsea have started to operate as well. So not only their strikers making these darting runs outside to create space through the centre, which led to the goal in the Champions League final. We're going to take here at some footage against the pivotal game against Leicester towards the end of the season. Chelsea working the ball out well from the back after winning possession back. And you can see the fullbacks already here when we focus on this picture. Ben Chilwell hugging that touchline. The three attackers for Chelsea in Pulisic, Werner and Mason Mount in those central positions. So whenever you see them not making those runs out to the wide areas and they're staying more central, you will then see the fullbacks engaged. This is almost the inverted approach of their defensive elements. The play then continues forward and we see again Aspi on this right hand side ready to receive the ball to play it into the box. Comes out to him, the ball squared, and unfortunately we'll freeze frame it there. Timo Werner, it's the one area of criticism for him this season has been that finishing. But with the likes of Lukaku, Harry Kane and Haaland linked to Chelsea, you could certainly see why Thomas Tuchel needs a prolific goal scorer to move on to that next level. So it's very, very simple for me this season. Thomas Tuchel has done two things. Two main things at Chelsea. He has got the players on side. He has got them happy. He's got the team working in unison. He's got them believing in themselves. Frank Lampard said to the world that this team were not ready to win trophies. Thomas Tuchel told them they were. This great man management has led to the impeccable work rate of Chelsea. Without the work rate, without the running, without the covering of positions, without the fullbacks attacking at the right times, without central defenders covering the midfield during the pressing moments of defending, Chelsea's success would be absolutely impossible. It's basic, but football is a basic sport that is often overcomplicated with fancy words, shapes, patterns, and thinking. Thomas Tuchel has got the basics right at Chelsea. When you have the basics right with great man management and you've got a talented squad, the sky is the limit. Well done to Thomas Tuchel, well done to Chelsea, European champions again. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the Football Terrace, and we'll see you all again very, very soon.